Wow, what an extremely cold day it has been for so many people throughout the Greater Toronto Area. Let me put this into perspective for you. If you take the last 7 days, starting on Valentine's Day, ending today, Toronto is in the midst of the 5th coldest cold snap, most severe cold snap we've seen in 100 years. February on track to be the coldest February on record. So bundle up today. Schools in Waterloo, they remain closed. It is the dangerous and the severe cold. Imagine, but a photographer's dream to capture scenes like that one. Maybe you're thinking about some indoor plans for this weekend. You don't want to tackle Niagara Falls in the cold. Well, maybe the motorcycle show. Here's Kevin Yard with an update. Nice stuff there. I like it. And thinking about maybe spring, getting the motorcycle out, gives you a little bit of hope, doesn't it? I'll give you a little bit of hope right now, actually. Temperatures are going to be warming. As we look at tomorrow, we do have some snow moving through, but this system bringing a warmer air mass. Yeah, I'll talk about those temperatures in a second, but I want to watch how this plays through. This afternoon, not too much going on, but you'll notice this evening, quick burst of snow, and then Saturday throughout the morning into the afternoon, that's when we are going to see some of the heavier amounts. When we talk about how much snow for the GTA, looks like we are on track to see 5 to 10 centimeters of snow. Yeah, this is going to be shovel-worthy snow. This is going to move out late day Sunday, and then we will see a pretty decent clearing as we head back to work and school on Monday. But temperature-wise, this is what we're looking at. -5 on Saturday. That is going to feel so warm and so comfortable. I am pretty pumped about this -5. Monday, back to the deep cold, though, at -16. Same thing goes in Hamilton. We're seeing snow right throughout the Greater Toronto Area. The cold. Everybody's talking about it. Schools in Waterloo canceled today because of the extreme cold. And last year, everybody complained about the polar vortex and we're freezing. But did you know this February, we're actually colder than that? We are on track to see the coldest February on record. Right now, over the past 7 days, we are in a severe cold snap. Valentine's Day through till today, one of the 5th most severe cold snaps on record. So when we talk about this cold, it certainly is here. You can complain all you want. Tweet me. I'll complain with you. But one thing we do think about when it is this cold is the ice is safe. Might not always be the case. Mike Arsenault caught up with Toronto Police this morning. Check this out. Yeah, you got it, Mike. They're warming up, but with the price of snow. Yes, shovel-worthy snow. Have a look at this. This afternoon, clear conditions, extreme cold, but you'll see the sunshine. Notice this first little burst of snow through the overnight, early Saturday morning, and then the bigger system starts to move through. Notice the GTA. Yeah, we're right in the bulk of some of the heavier amounts of snow. On the shores of Erie, this is where we are seeing some of the most snow, but then GTA, we're looking at around 5 to 10 centimeters. Shovel-worthy snow, certainly, right in our own backyard. This is going to clear out late morning, Sunday, few just very light flurries. By the afternoon, everything's gone. And then Monday looking like a good day, approaching low. That's coming in through till Tuesday, a clipper from across the prairies. Temperature-wise, yeah, tomorrow is a little bit better, but the deep chill is back Monday. And talk about the cold. Yes, Toronto right now is experiencing the 5th most severe cold snap recorded in over 100 years. Schools this morning were closed in Waterloo. Yeah, not open today. Records have been broken throughout Hamilton, getting down to -24. So this weekend, you might not want to be outside because the cold, it's going to slightly improve, but we're also going to pair it with some snow. Maybe you want to check out the motorcycle show. That's where Kevin Yard was. Here's the latest from him. Might be quite a while before you ride that bike because temperatures are going to stay cold right to the end of February, even March. Isn't looking too warm. No, sorry to burst the bubble there. Now, as we look at our snow, yeah, snow's moving through. Watch this. First shot of snow through the overnight, and then the bigger system moves through. And for the GTA, we are right on track to see some of the higher amounts of snow. Shovel-worthy. Yeah, look at us. 5 to 10 centimeters. You can expect that throughout the day tomorrow. I'm glad to see you here today because it is so cold. You have come to the right spot to talk about the extreme cold, possibly warming up. Are we getting snow? Yes, to all of the above, really. The last time we saw 0 degrees, when do you think that was? Can you remember? It wasn't in February, I'll tell you that. It was in January. The polar vortex February that we experienced. So when we talk about ice coverage, well, because of the extreme cold, many people think it's safe. But Mike Arsenault dove into that story a little more, and here he is with the Toronto Police. Yeah, we are talking about the extreme cold, record-breaking cold. Hamilton, minus 24 this morning. That broke a record from back in 2008 when it was only minus 13. Shattered that record, really. So you might be thinking, it's way too cold for me. I don't want to be outside anymore. So maybe head to the motorcycle show. That's what Kevin Yard did today. Check it out. We are warming up for the weekend, Kevin. Yeah, you got it. But with the price of snow. Yeah, watch this. Winds coming more out of the southwest. We'll notice it slightly warmer into tomorrow, but that's as a system tracks through. First shot of snow quick through the overnight, and then the bigger system moves throughout the day tomorrow. City of Toronto, 5 to 10 centimeters. This is going to be widespread, so you can bet travel will be a little bit slower tomorrow as we will deal with all of this snow moving through. It really does clear out through the day on Sunday. Going to be late day. You'll start to see those flurries and then looking good by the evening. Notice into Monday, we are going to be seeing some great conditions, but the extreme cold, it's back. Well, aren't we lucky? Lucky to have you here with us today, and lucky enough to be experiencing some of the coldest air in the country. It's nestled right over Ontario. Extreme cold warnings, record-breaking cold. Schools are closed. The one positive thing about this system of snow is it's going to bring our temperatures up. We'll start to notice that. This afternoon, though, extreme cold. Through the overnight, again, it is not a safe night to be outdoors. Want to keep your time out there very limited. And as we look into tomorrow, temperatures are going to be at around minus 5. That's going to feel a lot warmer than minus 16. That's the high today. But we're pairing it with this, with some snow. So throughout the day tomorrow into early Sunday as well, that's when we will see some of the heaviest amounts, 5 to 10 centimeters. Light flurries through the day, Sunday morning, clearing out in through the afternoon. And this is how it plays out here. Notice the system that moves through. Sunday, left with just the residual flurries there, and then looking to be a pretty good day on Monday in terms of clear. Tuesday, Clipper moves through, but Monday, not going to be so good when we look at the temperatures because that extreme cold coming back into play. What it feels like today, that's going to be another repeat again into Monday. Toronto, Hamilton, same thing goes with that wind chill, minus 27. Dangerous cold coming back into the picture. We end off February not going above 0 degrees. When we talk about this in Oshawa, same sort of story. You really have to brace for these extremely cold conditions. Riding the bike to school, you can still do that out in the west. Great work, really, in terms of these temperatures. 6 degrees in Edmonton, but the extreme cold, that's on the opposite side of the country. That's where people in Toronto, well, it's minus 15 this afternoon. Record-breaking lows this morning in Waterloo. We can see where all that cold air really is over Manitoba throughout northern Ontario. Slightly warmer for the Great Lakes region tomorrow, and that's because snow is on the way. As we look at some of the temperatures into tomorrow, the city of Toronto is going to feel a lot nicer with a high of minus 5. And you know what, a very good point, because when we talk about the extreme cold, we don't always realize that the ice still may not be completely frozen. Okay, developing stories, too cool for school. Who canceled school today? Outdoor hockey still on. More about that coming up, and staying safe on the roads. Blowing snow. It wasn't a lot of snow that moved through, but it was enough to snarl traffic through there. As we look at our temperatures this morning, oh boy, was it cold. Cold enough to break some records. Hamilton, minus 24. Godridge, minus 21. Mount Forest, almost minus 30. That's your core temperature. Doesn't even take into account the extreme wind chills through here. So when we talk about this extreme cold, really lucky for everyone in Ontario. Some of the coldest air in the country is right in your backyard. But notice this, we're having a southerly push. That's with a new low that's moving through. So temperatures throughout the Greater Toronto area are actually going to rise as the snow moves through. Still going to be below 0, minus 5 for the city of Toronto tomorrow. But we'll start to see that snow. Yes, 5 to 10 centimeters for the Greater Toronto area, a little more along the northern shores of Lake Erie, and then lesser amounts up and towards the north. I want to show you this now. Too cool for school? Yeah, these are the people who are not going to school out in Waterloo. Completely closed today because of the dangerous cold. And when we talk about the cold, it has dipped all the way down to Orlando, where today is only 14 degrees. I was looking at the temperatures in Havana. Only 18 today. Still nice when you compare it to minus 13 in Thunder Bay, but those are not the temperatures you really expect to see. Okay, our next developing story, that's the hockey game, to watch your speed and always keep it safe when the roads, well, are looking like that. It wasn't even looking too bad there, but it just goes to show the speed and how it can play a factor. So, of course, safe winter driving, keeping your distance, avoiding sudden moves, give yourself that extra time, and, of course, do not speed. So this is an overview across the country of what we can expect into Saturday. Before we get there, actually, I want to mention one thing. Snowfall warnings are in place now for places like Crow's Nest and Canmore, as you are seeing those upsloping winds and significant snow through the overnight. That will clear throughout the day on Saturday, but that's when southern Ontario is starting to get into some of that active weather in terms of the snow. A cold day out in the Atlantic. We're talking about some people dipping down around 10 degrees, so it's going to be significantly colder. Frigid right across the prairies. Saskatchewan, Manitoba, you're really feeling that extreme cold as we look at Sunday.
Deep in a Baconator from Wendy's.
Yeah, sold!
Living large, my friend.
Now, as we jump into something a little less beautiful, well, it's this, the extreme cold mornings. So many Canadians feeling this cold, really, from Saskatchewan through Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, all of you really record lows throughout Ontario, wind chills to the extreme here. Look at the overnight in Saskatchewan, Saskatoon and Regina, wind chills of -32. Friday night out on the town, I don't think so tonight. Movie and hot tea, that sounds good, right? As we look at some of the snowfall warnings as well, really for the higher elevations, this is where you could see a quick 15 centimeters of snow. And I want to show you what Calgary was looking like yesterday. Just a short-term change, though, I'll tell you. -8 is the high tomorrow in Calgary, so it's going to feel like winter for about a day, and then you'll bump right back up by Monday. As we look at some of the snow, this is where the snowfall warning is in place. High pressure coming through, some upsloping winds, as well as the cold front that's passing by as well. And right along that cold front, that's where we are seeing the precipitation. Once that passes, yeah, living up to its name, it's bringing you colder weather. Winds right out of the north, so that's keeping you cold. On the Vancouver coast, though, things are still looking nice. Yeah, above seasonal, about 12 degrees, and some cloud cover building in. But overall, the story is looking quite pleasant out on the west coast. As we saw the system move through yesterday, light flurries this morning through the Atlantic, but now really it's up into Goose Bay, up into Labrador. Degrees. Yeah, it was quite a nice day in the Atlantic, but tomorrow it's going to be a lot colder. Some places like Halifax, you're going to see a dip in temperatures of about 10 degrees tomorrow. So a lot cooler air moving through. Warmer air coming into Ontario today. Frigid, freezing cold. Tomorrow, widespread throughout the Greater Toronto Area, and that's because some snow is moving through. It's bringing some slightly warmer air along with that, but you'll have to shovel. Basically, I would say Toronto, GTA, all the way through the Ottawa Valley and into Quebec along the St. Lawrence there, you can expect to see around 7 centimeters of snow, 5 to 10 range, and then northern shores of Erie. That's where we are getting into some of the higher totals here. So this is how it plays out. You can see the snow, yeah, snowing on Saturday. That's going to continue to move through into Atlantic Canada, and this is going to be a little bit of a different system. It's going to move through the day on Sunday. For many of you, you'll see snow, but some getting into the rain. The Fundy Shores could get into the rain, Charlottetown as well, Halifax, Nova Scotia. This is looking like a rain story for you, and then a drop in temperatures into Monday. So flash freeze, looking at that again. We saw that in Halifax last weekend. And then I do want to mention in the long range forecast, looks to see another clipper that's going to move through Ontario into Tuesday, late day Monday into Tuesday. A little recap here of Saturday. We're seeing seasonal on the west coast, snow in Ontario, and the cold back in the Atlantic.
Well, good morning. It's a Friday. It's Jacqueline Whittle and Rachel Schoutsen in with you. Rachel, you know anybody that has any plans to go down to the south, like maybe to the Caribbean?
Actually, you know what? I do. One of my friends tomorrow is leaving for Cuba.
Okay, so my parents are in Cuba right now. Look at the weather they're getting in Havana, 18 degrees. Yeah, normally around 26. So you can imagine if their normal is 26, they regular are getting over 30s. It's chilly down there.
And I'm going to say 18 in Havana feels like 5 in the GTA.
I like that.
I'm going to say
that's a good balance. Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like. And look at Atlanta, Georgia. Yesterday, that 3 was a -3. So today you'll be on the plus side of the 0 degree mark, but very chilly in Orlando as well.
We were even talking about some wind chill warnings in Atlanta for being about -4. But this is the scene of freezing rain in St. John's.
Isn't that incredible? That's a long time. I haven't heard of any power outages. I'm sure that we would have by now, so that's good news. Take a look at these temperatures. Minus 16 in Quebec City this evening. These are your wind chills. Minus 26, minus 29 in Montreal. Ontario, close to that minus 30-degree mark. It's the coldest morning this morning in Ontario yet the entire winter.
I know, and that has closed schools out in the Waterloo region. So kids not even going to school today, buses not operating. And as we look across the prairies, you're still feeling that extreme cold as well. Tomorrow, Winnipeg, you are in for such a cold day. We're really talking about those frigid, freezing temperatures. Look at into Saturday morning, Winnipeg minus 26, the Pas minus 44. This is really dangerous cold.
Well, this is it. When you see numbers like minus 48, you have to be very careful. It only takes about 5 minutes to get frostbite.
For sure.
So what's this, Rachel? This is hilarious. Okay, train going by. Hey, I'm going to get a shot with my my smartphone.
Uh-oh. Wait. And watch this. We're about to get married too. And here it comes. Done.
Uh-oh, need to replace the camera after that one. That's hilarious. Okay, so through Saturday p.m., we are watching a storm that will be mainly a Labrador story. Goose Bay, 15 to 20 plus centimeters. The western shores of Newfoundland, we're looking at about 5 to 10, but a bit of a break before the next round of snow for these.
Yeah, and into Ontario, we're also looking at a system moving through tonight and in through Saturday. Along the Erie shores, that's where we are seeing some of the higher amounts of snow, and then through the Greater Toronto area, you can expect to see 5 to 10 centimeters. Tomorrow, it's going to feel a little bit warmer, though, so that's the plus.
Yeah, a little bump in temperatures in that warm sector. 10 to 15, though, for the foothills of the prairies. That's just some upsloping word.
Some snow on the roads. Yeah, not what they need. Higher snowbanks out in Charlottetown. If you are watching us from Charlottetown right now, congrats to you for all the shoveling you had to do, all the tunnels you had to dig out to the car as well. Rachel Schoutsen here with you today, and as we look at the last little bits of this system, you can see really now up into Goose Bay, into Labrador, just light flurries throughout the day today in the Atlantic. Niagara Falls, flowing right over, you can tell. Not frozen there. Okay, let's look at the temperatures in Ontario. Certainly cold enough to talk about the freezing cold and frozen maybe your pond in the backyard. This cold has been record-breaking for so many people throughout southern Ontario, but we are going to see a warmer push of air into tomorrow, but that's going to be coupled in with some snow. A snowstorm moving into your backyard if you live in the Great Lakes region. Some higher amounts just north shores of Erie, and then the Greater Toronto area. You're also seeing some pretty decent snow. Now, in Manitoba, you've been dealing with a lot of the ice breakup on the rivers, and here's a clip I want you to watch. And it's a sign of spring, isn't it? These wind chills, though, oh, not too much a sign of spring. Minus 21 in Saskatoon this evening. Minus 31 in the Pas. This extreme cold. So many Canadians dealing with this, really, from Saskatchewan all the way out through till Quebec. I want to talk about a bit of snow as well across the prairies. Very light throughout Saskatchewan through today and tomorrow. And then some higher amounts here. That's because we have high pressure coming into play. Winds around a high pressure system. Well, that's clockwise, so they crash right into the Rockies, and that's some upsloping winds, so that's why you are seeing some higher totals in the higher elevations. In terms of the weather and the temperatures, clear on the BC coast, a little bit of cloud cover, but above seasonal, very comfortable. Tomorrow, though, winds out of the north. It is going to be a much colder day in Alberta. Calgary, only a high of minus 8. Current systems right across the country. That cold air closed schools in Waterloo, Ontario this morning. Yeah, the cold alerts have ended, but the cold is still here, and you really have to dress for that in Ontario. I want you to notice this cold front across the prairies. That's bringing some light snow, heavier amounts in through the overnight. So that's why here we're seeing 10 to 15 centimeters. There's actually some snowfall warnings in place right now for Canmore, Kananaskis, Cardston, Crow's Nest as well. And you can see those much lesser amounts as it tracks through the prairies. Into Ontario, we're looking at some pretty decent snow just south of the Great Lakes here. Actually, north of Erie, that's where we could see some of the higher amounts. And then through the Greater Toronto area, 5 to 10 centimeters of snow. Warmer temperatures, though, so that's the positive in all of this. In the Atlantic, you're clearing out from this system really now up into Labrador, blizzard conditions in Goose Bay, but bracing for a new system to come in through Sunday. So what does the weather look like in the long-range pattern? Here's the long ranger right now.